story to share. Never too old to straighten out. There's hope for all of us. Ian Black.
A 55-year-old widow went out on a blind date with a 72-year-old man. Returning to her daughter's house around 10:30, she seemed quiet and upset. "What happened?" asked the daughter. "I had to slap his face 3 times. "You mean," began the daughter. "Yes," she answered. "He fell asleep 3 times. Madam Toastmaster, fellow communicators, welcome guests Margot and Devin. My mother was born in England to a prosperous wine merchant. And although she had an older sister and brother, they had left home by the time she was 12. The family had servants, so when my mother married a Canadian businessman, my father, in 1939, and settled down in Montreal and produced a few babies, me, it seemed quite natural to have hired help take care of the children, just as it happened to her. So I was effectively raised by nannies. That is a picture of me throwing the little stick with my left hand, for all you lefties. I would see my mother most often in those early years as sort of a fleeting vision as she wafted into my bedroom in a cloud of perfume for a nighty-night kiss on the forehead as she was on her way to a cocktail party and the theater with my dad. Given the fact that the caretakers were young Japanese women who spoke little English, I tended to suck my finger, which is an unusual thing, rather than my thumb, to attain some kind of solace for my particular situation. And since there wasn't a lot of supervision, I tended to do it a lot. So in the process, I distorted, to some extent, the bone structure of my mouth. So my parents did not seem to care too much about the disposition of my teeth. And I grew up into adulthood accepting my quirky English smile as a fait accompli. I was soon married and raising a family, and by my mid-20s, I raised my 3 boys until fledging them into their manhood, and then moved with my sweetheart to Victoria 25 years ago. Now, last fall, while visiting my dentist for my annual cleaning, he suggested I might consider to extend the health of my teeth so they may last until the end of my life. The crowding of my teeth can prove difficult later on, he said, and why not consider rectifying the situation now? "You mean braces?" I exclaimed. "No way! I'm too old for braces. For teenage girls." Well, he said, "Well, you know, things have changed." I, of course, kept on thinking about the pain and all the things that go into that. I mean, I couldn't imagine myself going into a dentist's office every 2 weeks and have him tighten up these metal things that had me entrapped. He said, "No, it doesn't happen like that anymore. Today, 3D printing has revolutionized the process." "Tell me more." I was interested in hearing about his new concept. Well, he says, first we scan the teeth with an electronic probe that basically defines all the measurements of how your teeth sit in your jaws now. Then the electronic information is transmitted to the company's headquarters in California, where they work, and in my case, 32 different adjustment processes, and proceed to manufacture 32 sets of these plastic retainers. A simple thing like that, just like very thin plastic. You wear them for 20 to 22 hours a day. You only remove them in the evenings or at mealtime to clean them. But basically, you have them on all the time. Now, I would suspect that most of you didn't know that I've been wearing braces for the last 8 months. That's how invisible they are. They're called Invisalign. You probably heard the term. I never heard the term. So they're manufactured by a company called Align Technology, and they're headquartered in San Jose, California. The company was founded in 1997 by a guy named Zia Chisti, an MBA student at Stanford. And he conceived, he wasn't a scientist, he was an MBA student. And he conceived the idea because he had actually gone for orthodontic treatment in the standard way. But in the post process, when he was actually had a retainer on, he realized that if you had a bunch of retainers with slight modifications, it might work. Well, guess what? He started a company. And it basically launched in 2000, and by 2007, the Academy of General Dentistry approved the process for teaching in their classes. As of 2014, Align Technology have fitted 2.4 million people with these devices. Currently, the plant in Mexico manufactures 80,000 unique sets of braces every week. So imagine the number. So I received my first set of trays and started to put them on. And this is the process that happened. So there is how my teeth work. This is how my teeth will become. And you can see the little ridges here on the plastic, which is from the 3D printing. I'm quite impressed with this concept. Needless to say, it is transforming my life, and I'm halfway through. I'm well over halfway through, and I thought I would share with you, my friends, at Toastmaster, the remarkable story of how this simple plastic material is transforming my mouth. I'm intending on living well into my 90s. As you know, it's kind of a new lease on life for a 72-year-old young guy like me. And who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks and get things straightened out? Remember, you can't help getting older, but you don't have to get old.
All right. Yes.